Hey guys, it's me, Stephanie Valhalla. I just got out of the shower. My hair is super long. It actually looks not as long in the ponytail. I have a couple knots here I have to get out. My hair is so long that I have to um, brush knots out of it all the time. But anyways, I was just sitting around and I thought I would tell you a story. It's just a quick story. I'm not sure where in the timeline of I'm trying to tell you these stories kind of in a timeline of what I remember, and there's some that I might not remember in the exact time. So, anyways, I'm going to talk about this house I lived in, and it was not haunted or anything. It was the house actually in the video I told you about where it's in the video Ghost Grandma. It was the same house when that happened. But it wasn't like a haunted house or anything like that. Like nothing crazy ever happened in that house or anything like that. It was in a very small. It wasn't even a city actually. It was a town. If you drove into the I guess people call it a city, but if you actually drive in and you look at the sign, it says the town of where it was. So it's a little tiny area of a big section of um should I say, I'm not sure if I should say it. Um Anyways, yeah, it's a big city. Let me just tell you, it was a big city that I lived in Canada, Ontario. Okay, you can take a couple guesses if you want. You can take a stab at it if you want. I'll just say that there was a beautiful waterfall that people um, that lived there for a long time, including me, um, should have actually paid more attention to. And uh, I'll just tell you, I guess it was Niagara Falls, Ontario. That's where I used to live. I don't live there now. I've moved away since then. But there was a little city that went into there that I lived in. Um, the Niagara Falls, we used to not care about it, and like it would annoy us. Not the Niagara Falls, but the actual people, because there were a lot of tourists and stuff like that. But if you think about it, Niagara Falls is one of the nine wonders of the world. So like that's something I feel like should be appreciated and like looked after and taken care of. But anyways, let's get to the story. So I was in my room one night and I'd been living in this house for a very long time. Um, I'd moved out for many years, and I think some of those years were I was attacked uh, in some of the stories I'll be telling you coming up. I was attacked in when I moved out in my first apartment, but I'll tell you about that probably in the next video, probably. Um, but this was in this house I lived. I had moved back after my fiance died, so I'd moved back with my mom. And one day I walk into my room and I hear people talking. Like it almost sounded like people, like two men talking, but like in a bar. Like I could hear the two men talking. I couldn't really hear what they were saying, but it was like it almost sounded like whispering in my ear. But it also sounded like it was like a bar scene. Um, and I could hear like two men talking, but like in a bar scene. Now, my first thing I thought was, okay, this is weird because it wasn't like people. It didn't sound like people talking or like even people outside that could have been talking at like a bar. It sounded like whispering. So the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, let's try and debunk this. There was a bar across the street, and then right next to it, right directly in front of my house, was a church. But beside it was a small bar. But that bar closed every night very early, which actually, now that I think about it, um, I'll tell you in this story. We found out was haunted as well. Now that probably was there for many years. I wouldn't be surprised if it was indigenous land at some point. But my brother, when he was a young child, and my brother was not into anything paranormal or anything, but he was having a sleepover with his friend, with the owner of the building, and I guess he had seen a black figure, like a black shadow figure with red eyes. I'm not sure if it was coming at him or what happened, but he ran across the street home and was like freaking out and crying to my mom. I was like, why you come home? Like, what's going on? And he was just freaking out and told my mom that, and then told me that. So I think there's something over there that's going on, obviously, but I'm not sure if that had anything to do with what was happening to me. So I looked over at the bar, and it was totally closed. It was all dark. It was complete, like, just silence. I open up my window. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anybody, and it was super quiet. As soon as I walked out of my door, though, in my bedroom, in the house, nothing. Don't hear anything. As soon as I walk back in my room, I hear this like almost like talking in my ear, like yeah. And then, but it was weird because it was only at the threshold of my door. I could literally go in and out. If I went out, nothing. In, I could hear the chattering. And it was just that threshold of my door. So the only thing I could think of back then, being younger and not as wise, was to get my sage and sage my room, which I guess was a smart idea at the time because it did actually make it go away. The only thing I'm wondering now is, why did that happen? And why was it, first of all, why did that happen? Because if it was residual energy, that would have been happening since we moved in, or early on when we moved in. Nothing ever happened in that house. So I don't know why that happened so many years later, and why it sounded like someone was whispering to me, like it was more whispering, and it sounded like kind of like a bar scene. Like, that's kind of how it sounded, like a bar scene, but I could hear two men talking in a bar scene. I'm not sure why that happened. I'm not sure why it happened at the time that it happened at. So it's really, even today, it's, I'm not really sure why that happened. It couldn't have been residual energy, because, like I said, that would have been happening at the beginning of when we bought the house. That would have been happening for years. As far as I know, residual energy can't just pop in at any time. I could be wrong. I'm not sure if there's any mediums or psychics or anything like that that know about residual energy. If you are watching this, if I'm wrong and residual energy can come back at any other time, please let me know in the comments, because as far as I know, that's not something that can happen. But yeah, this is just a little story I thought I would tell you, that I was just thinking about, and I thought I would just give it a moment and tell you guys. So I like talking to you guys, and I'm starting to see the views on my videos, and they're starting to get a bit higher. I'm hoping you guys are interested in these stories. They're gonna start, trust me, they're gonna start getting pretty deep the more we go into this stuff. So some of them are gonna have trigger warnings, and some of them are pretty dark. So yeah, I am looking forward to telling them to you, but at the same time, I'm also, one of them specifically is very difficult to talk about. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna. One of them I'm not even sure if I'm gonna tell on here. Actually, two of them I'm not even sure if I'm gonna tell on here. But I've seen other mediums that have made videos, and they've told similar stories, and if they can do that, maybe I can do that. But we'll see if I don't know, we'll see how I feel about it. Because they're just crazy stories, and it's a very sensitive subject. But anyways, we'll start getting into some deeper stories. We already got into the one with the the, what do you call it? The last story with my ex's 400-pound amp being lifted up and thrown 6 feet. That was absolutely, oh my god, that was absolutely insane. It was just insane. And the comment that he said, if you watch my last video, the comment that he said, what a ignorant dummy. But anyways, we're not here to talk about ignorant dummies. We're here to we're here to spread positive and kindness. And guys, my purpose here in life is to spread love, kindness, and empathy. And I hope that I try and do one nice thing a day if I can. Even though I'm on disability, I will try to help people financially. Like, not a lot. It might even be $1 here and there, or I might make a donation to a like a society, even if it's like maybe just a $3 donation, or help someone with their groceries, or help an old lady at a grocery store. You can do a lot of help if you want to do like one kind thing a day. When you're out at grocery stores, there's a lot of people that need help, and just all you have to do is just look and pay attention. Like, I noticed the one lady, she couldn't carry the manure that she was for her garden, so I helped her do it. And because of all my tattoos, I think at first she was scared, but once she noticed she could trust me, she was very thankful for that. So I try and just spread kindness. And the main thing I want to tell you guys is to be kind. And there's a lot of things in life where people are having a hard time, and a lot of people look at them as like bad people because they're going through a hard time. Like, they might be, for example, an alcoholic, and people look at that person and say, oh, they're a piece of crap or whatever. Well, you have to put your shoes in. Sometimes you have to step out of your own life and put yourself in the other person's shoes and empathize with them and be kind. And the reason I'm here on the planet is to spread kindness. And I want you guys, if you're watching me, think about that and try and spread as much kindness as you can. And if you can, try and do one thing a day, at least one thing a day, to maybe help somebody out, or maybe help somebody out online, or even if it's your neighbor, or somewhere where you're out, even if it's at a gas station or a grocery store or anywhere you're out, a fast food place. If anybody needs help, maybe help them. If you see homeless people, the homeless people aren't bad, they just need help. They're in a hard place in life. Not everybody was given, a lot of the safety, and the contents of other people that have helped them survive in life. A lot of people had it hard. So, and when you have it hard, sometimes it ends up, you grow up hard, and you end up in a different place. I was walking on the sidewalk. I told you this story in another video. I was hit on the sidewalk by an intoxicated driver from behind, and I am disabled. And, I try and empathize with other people because I think I've been put in the same kind of position sometimes from other people in my life. But if people are rude to you, or don't like you, or think you should change your clothes or who you are, or anything like that, fuck those people. I'm just going to say it on here. Fuck those people, okay? You be you, and you do what you be you, and don't give a shit about what anybody thinks about you. You be you. And, spread kindness, guys, if you can. I'm just trying to spread a positive word here after that little story. Anyways, be kind and rewind, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.